Cool. So today we're gonna go through a smart approach to goal setting. It's the beginning of the year, and it's a good time to set some goals. And I want to provide a again a smart approach to how to set goals. Um, and most of you might already be um, they might already know that the meaning of the smart, but obviously I want to apply this to a fitness environment. So let's see what we got. So before we start, something that has made a massive difference in my life in the last probably 2 years is is also this sentence: the difference between a dream and a goal is that the goal is written down. So I most of my life I've been someone that here in England we say winging it, right? um kind of yeah, how do you say, always do stuff on the spot, um improvising, but sitting down, writing down, and again writing down, it's something very powerful. So again, in the last 2 years, I would say that my life changed also because I started writing down uh, goals. And so yeah, when you write it down, it goes from being a dream to become a goal. So that's very important, and is part of this process that I want you to go through. So for this reason, I know we're gonna write down some goals, but I don't want you to write down dumb goals. I want you to write down smart goals. Um, and so we're gonna go through why you should use the SMART approach. So, as I said, as part of going from the dream to the goal, um, obviously the first step is getting specific, right? So, for example, my dream could be I want to lose weight. But if I say like that, it's not a goal yet. So to make it a goal, I need to be, first of all, specific. So what is it that you want to achieve specifically, right? So for example, if I say I want to lose weight, as I want to get more specific, I want to lose 5 kilo, right? So now I'm making it more specific. Or I want to lose 5 kilo of fat, even better. So saying how much I want to weigh, how much I want to lose, and say what I want to lose, it makes it a little bit more, it narrows it down, and that's the S of the SMART approach. So specific. Then measurable, right? What gets measured gets managed. Again, me saying I want to lose weight, um, that's kind of measurable already, because even though I'm not saying how much I want to lose, if I weigh myself every week, I can tell how much I've been uh, losing, right? But if I say I want to be leaner, well, that's broad. So how can I measure, being lean? So that's why also, when you want to make sure that it's specific, but it's also measurable. Like, can I measure it? So if I say I want to be leaner, again, I want to lose 5 kilo of fat. You see now, if I lose 5 kilo of fat, am I going to be leaner? Yes. But instead of saying I want to be leaner, I'm losing 5 kilo. So very specific, measurable, because I can measure on the scale, or I can measure through measuring my body fat levels. So it's something I can measure, right? So going from broad, dream, be leaner, to something more specific, 5 kilo of fat. And then we got the A for achievable. So I think I have some slides after, which I'm gonna put up, but I'm all about pushing yourself, but can you actually achieve it? So, you saying, I want to lose 20 kilo, but maybe you only have 10 kilo to lose, that obviously wouldn't make sense. Normally ladies do that. They want to lose loads of weight and, they don't even weigh much to start with. But so, when you're going to set a goal, is it achievable? Like, that's a question that you should ask yourself. So let me bring up these slides. So, for example, if we look at fat loss, I put the slides up because I want to help you understand if it's achievable or not. So with fat loss, we actually have some targets that we can shoot for. So for a norm, like a average individual, we should, if we're focusing on fat loss, we should expecting and we should be looking for a 0.5 to 1% of body weight loss per week. So now, when I'm gonna say I want to lose 5 kilo of fat, then I can say, okay, so 5 kilo fat, example, I'm 80 kilo, I can lose up to 0.8 kilo per week. Then I calculate, okay, how long is it gonna take me to lose 5 kilo? So this is gonna be part of my, when I formulate the goal, I can help myself knowing this, right? And then for muscle gain, this is actually like a very slower process. In fact, whilst we can look at a 3% of body weight gain in the first month, we're actually looking for a 1% of body weight gain per month. So fat loss is up to 1% per week, with muscle gain is 1% per month. So again, 80 kilo male should expect a up to 0.8 kilo weight gain per month. So this is just to give you guys something to consider when you set up the goals, because obviously again, achievable, right? So you need to make sure that the overall goal is going to be achievable in the time frame that something we're going to see now. So SMART, this is the R, relevant and realistic. So this one actually can have different meanings, right? And if you go and look for the definition on the internet about the R in SMART goals, you find these two, relevant and realistic. So I'm gonna try and give you my perspective. Relevant. Let's say you currently you're going through something, maybe a period of time where you're really busy and maybe you cannot physically train as much as you want to. You cannot dedicate as much time to this. Stress levels are really high. Now you coming to me and say, I want to gain 10 kilos of muscles in 3 months. First of all, okay, it's not achievable, but is it relevant? Like, you need to have a look at, where you are right now in your life, and you have to be honest with yourself. And is it relevant to me right now? Do I have the time? Do I have the meanings to do this, right? This is important because sometimes, we all want things, but in reality, we also have other things to do, right? We have work, relationships, whatever it is. So we need to make sure that, we stay relevant to our own overall journey. Because, sometimes, fitness journey could be, it can take effort, right? It can take time of your day, energy, resources, and sometimes maybe it's not the right time to go through a fat loss phase or to go through a muscle gain phase. So stay relevant to your overall life goal, life path. And also, R for realistic. Um, this one, I was actually struggling to give it like some sort of meaning. So I believe that, again, if it's specific, you can measure it and it's achievable, it should be realistic as well, right? Pretty much anyone can lose fat. If you're overweight, you can lose fat, right? If you do the right things. So I think this relevant and realistic kind of blends in the meaning as, right, is it realistic for you to try and do this thing right now? Or do you have too many things going on and, maybe you should wait and focus on other things? So that's my um, definition of it. So then we have the T of the SMART is time bound, or having a time frame. So by when do you want to achieve it? So by when do you want to achieve the goal, and you know how long it will take also. So time bound means sticking a time frame or a length to the process to achieving your goal. So for example, going back to the weight loss goal, I want to lose 5 kilo of fat, and then I need to identify, okay, how long is it going to take me? Right now, knowing that I can lose, let's say, if I was 100 kilo, I can lose a kilo of fat per week. So there will be 10 weeks. So I can set my time frame for 10 weeks. So I want to lose 5 kilo of fat in 10 weeks. So that would be a definition of like a good goal setting using the SMART principle. So yeah, we have some examples here. I want to lose 5 kilo of fat by the 15th of February. So it's specific because it's a 5 kilo of fat, measurable, again, because I have a number there, 5 kilo. I can measure how much fat I lose. Well, relevant or realistic, of course, that depends on your situation. And then we have the time, which is, of course, the date. We have the 15th of February. And obviously, we can have the same thing for a muscle gain goal. So I want to build 2 kilo of muscles by the 30th of March. Again, we break it down, understanding, okay, if I weigh 100 kilo, I can gain 2 kilo of muscles per month. So March, is in 3 months. So yeah, it should be on point, right? So yeah, again, yeah, this is the fat loss target and the muscle gain target that we already saw. But obviously, it's all good writing down the goal, but what now? Let's put this into practice. I forgot to write it properly. So, well, fail to prepare to fail. I'm big on quotes, as you can see, living the Instagram life. But this is huge, right? We have a goal. We follow the SMART principle, so we write it down nicely. Where it's measurable, specific, relevant as a time frame, but that doesn't mean that we're going to achieve it, right? So we need to prepare. We need to plan. So after we got the goal that we write down using the SMART principle, we need to create a plan of action. This is even more important than the actual goal, in my opinion. So I like to do this. I want to write down at least one thing that I'm going to start doing. So something that I'm not currently doing, then I want to start doing that is going to help my goal. Then I want to stop doing something that is going against my goal, and I want to continue doing something that is helping my goal. So again, going back to the weight loss, so I want to lose 5 kilo of fat by the 15th of February, for example. So, what can I start doing? So, for example, I can start run 15 minutes a day. So this is going to create a slight calorie deficit, and it's going to help me towards my goal, right? Of course, you can do, I would say you should probably stick to 1 to 3 things for each section. So 1 to 3 things that you can start doing, 1 to 3 that you want to stop, and 1 to 3 that you want to continue. Again, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many things. So you should be able to find, I don't know if you ever heard of the 80-20 principle. There is 20% of things that will bring 80% of the results, and that's what we should be looking at here. So what's the minimum that I can do to achieve the results, right? So again, 1 to 3 things, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So start doing, perhaps I'm going to start tracking my calories and making sure I'm in a calorie deficit, and I'm going to start weighing myself every week, right? So this is like 3 things I can start doing for me to lose the fat. Stop. So what can I stop doing? I can stop drinking alcohol on weekdays. Maybe, I'm just coming over Christmas, been drinking, maybe a couple of glasses of wine, even on a Tuesday night. Now I want to focus myself on losing fat. I'm going to stop drinking during weekdays. What can I stop doing? I can stop eating chocolate every day. So you see, you need to find out what things you can stop doing, right? Again, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And I'm not big into these all-out approaches that people tend to adopt on in January, like dry January, or I'm gonna stop eating carbs and stuff like that. So again, find something that you're willing to stop doing, that is going against your goal. But again, don't overwhelm yourself with too many things. And then again, continue doing. Like, for example, I'm gonna go with myself. I can continue train 4 days a week. I can continue walk 10,000 steps a day. I can continue making sure I sleep at least 7 hours a night. So again, this plan of action is even more important to the actual goal. To be honest, they're mutual, right? If you do one, the other one will happen. Like if you take actions on this plan, you will achieve the results. That's why this is important. But obviously, you need to have the end goal in mind, to create the path in a way. And an important thing to do in the process is, of course, assessing, right? Again, if I was to set myself the goal of losing the fat by the 15th of February, I cannot wait for the 15th of February to check it. If did I do it? Did I make it? Because that might be too late. So once we have the big goal in mind, then let's break it down. I like to break it down into weekly chunks. So give myself, weekly targets. So, I can assess the results weekly, and, I can modify if needed. So although the goal is, it can be 3 months down the line, if I break it down week by week, I can actually check if I'm on track. And then, I can modify if needed, so I can stay on path throughout the journey. So, don't set the goal now and check it in 3 months. Make sure that, you break it down again, because this is part of the process itself, right? Writing down the goal is one thing, acting on it is another thing. So as assessing, yes, assessments are part of the journey as well. And that's it really. So again, just a quick overview. You have a dream. So this is the big dream. Then you narrow it down to a SMART goal. So you make it specific, measurable, make sure it's achievable, and make sure it's relevant so you can actually do it right now, and then give it a time frame. Perfect. So you think of that, you write it down. When you set down goals, try again not to make it overwhelming. So don't make like 5 different goals at the same time. That's the importance of the word focus. Try to focus on 1 or 2 things, right? Normally, you can focus on one goal on the physical side. You can focus on one goal in for example on business, and then having maybe a goal for like personal life. So this is something that you can do, like one goal for each area. But again, keep it like to one goal for each. Don't go crazy. Then once you have the goal, which follow the SMART rules, then based on that goal, you need to create a plan of action. So what can you start doing, what can you stop doing, and what can you continue doing? And then to help yourself staying on track throughout the process, you have to make sure that you assess the process throughout, and you have to make sure that you break it down into smaller chunks. When we talk about fitness, I like to do this in weekly chunks, and assess the results weekly and then modify if needed. So this is my approach to goal settings. And let's write down some goals and let's smash the year.